Hello, parents. We are preparing for our test, which is going to be very, very involved. It is multiplying decimals in topic 4, but there are some skills, both of which were really taught heavily in third grade that a lot of our students have not mastered, and so they're going to have to show that they can multiply decimals by doing it through these skills. So, again, any help you can give in terms of practicing with your student, quizzing them on the formulas or the instructions to find these things would be helpful, and it's definitely going to improve their scores on their test. So, starting with this, we have a square, and the students are going to be more likely to see squares on the test. Because squares have four equal sides. So usually when they see it, it's going to look like this. They're only going to give them one dimension, but the student is supposed to know that squares have four equal sides. So if one side is 5 6/10 inches long, all of the sides are. And so getting that information, they're going to use it to find the area and perimeter of the exact same shape. So area equals, this is the formula, length times width. And for these purposes, perimeter of a square, the formula is side times 4. And we can only, the only reason we can multiply it is because really the formula for perimeter is side plus side plus side. So you add all four sides together. But because you have a square and everything is exactly the same length all around, you can multiply it by 4. So that's why they're seeing a perimeter problem in a multiplication test, because they're wanting them to understand that if it's all the same, that instead of adding it 4 times, you can simply multiply it by 4. And because we're using decimals, then it applies because it's a multiplication of decimals test. So going with this, understanding that if this is 5 6/10 inches and that is width, that this side right here, which is where we traditionally find length, is 5 6/10 inches. And so we would plug this in, and this is really what the formula looks like. Kids should be familiar with this, length times width, right? So plugging in the length, area equals 5 6/10 times 5 6/10. We're going to find that. So as I said, most of the students are very comfortable. They prefer the area model for multiplication whenever they're working with more than one digit, and they experience the most success there. So I want them to stay where they're comfortable for now as we continue working throughout the year on getting them where they need to be. So you're going to treat each one of these like 56 for now. And then you're going to write each factor in expanded form. So 50 plus 6 and 50 plus 6, because we are working with the exact same numbers. And everything on this top row, both of these numbers will be multiplied by this 6. And then on this row, everything will be multiplied by 50, which is on the side. 56. And I have taught the students to focus first on non-zero digits. So 5 times 6 is 30. And then we count the zeros and write the zeros. That's 36. 5 times 5 is 25. And we've got 2 zeros. 5 times 6 is 30 and 1 zero. And then we're going to add these together, which will give us our partial products. So 300 plus 36 is 336. So that's the first one. And then we have 2,500 plus 300. That's the second one. So if you notice your student lining digits up incorrectly, because I am seeing some of that where students would write this like this. If you see that, please discourage that. We should know by now, well before fifth grade, that when we add and subtract numbers, we always line them up to the back if they're whole numbers. But some students really struggle with that, and they're a bit confused by it because we just learned Then when we're adding decimals, we add decimals up completely differently from that. So helping them make a distinction between the two is really helpful. After they get done with this, they are going to go up into the factors of the original problem, circle the number of digits behind the decimal, and they're going to move the decimal from the front to the back that number of times. And I also want to do the same problem in the standard algorithm of multiplication, as I know this is what we as parents, this is what we were taught, what we're used to seeing. But I want you to see how these two things do match. You end up with the same numbers, and it's just a matter of what the students themselves are more comfortable with, right? So we multiply everything on this top row by 6. We get here, pretending, treating this as if it's 56, the value of this 5 being 50, 1 0 and 50. So we write that 1 0 there, and then we just go on and we start multiplying everything by this 5 as if it is actually 5, right? So 25 plus 3, that's 28. And then we have two partial products. And before I go on, I just want to point out that the 336 I see right here is the same one I see here. And the 2,800 I see here, sorry, on the second row of partial products in the standard algorithm is the same I see here. So it really doesn't matter, again, what strategy kids use. I mean, of course, this does take longer than what we are used to doing, but it really is, especially considering all of the learning the students lost due to COVID, just that time. Some of them, when it comes to math, they're just a little bit behind developmentally. And so this has been a lot for a lot of them. And so the plan for the fifth grade year is to get them to master this. And as they're ready to move on to standard algorithm, we will move on. But if they need the support of the area model of multiplication to get it right, to pass their test and make the best scores they can, I am 100% for it. All right, so on to perimeter. To find the perimeter, again, the perimeter is going to be the measurement around the outside of this. And the formula typically is one side plus one side plus one side plus one side, right? And so because it's a square and everything's the same, all we have to do is take that one measurement we have and we are going to multiply that by 4. So perimeter equals this side 5 6/10 times 4. Again, most students are going to feel more comfortable multiplying this in the area model. And I say go for it. So they're going to treat this as 56 and write 56 in expanded form. We have a one-digit factor, so that just goes on the side. We only draw lines where we have a plus sign. So we don't have a plus sign here, so I'm not drawing a line. And then from there, everything on the top, this top column, is going to get multiplied by this 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. Count the 0, write the 0. 6 times 4 is 24. And so we have 224. And we're not done because we are multiplying decimals. So because we're multiplying decimals, we need to go back into the factors. Those are the numbers we multiply. Circle the digits behind the decimal. So this is a whole number, so nothing to circle there. Circle that digit. Go to the end. Move our decimal from the back to the front, however many number of times we circle something. So now that we've done that, we've got two numbers that we're working with. So the area for this shape, we have, see, we'll work with this, 31 and 3600ths. That's the area for the shape. So 31 and 3600. So we're gonna write this right here. Now, another thing that the students need to understand is when they give these units of measurement, they give these measurement answers, they have to include the unit. And if it's area, it must be squared or it is wrong. For perimeter, you just have to express it with the unit. We don't square it. So no exponents are involved here. So it's going to be 22 and 4/10 inches. So I hope this helps. Oh, and I should have explained this from the very beginning. So I'll just throw it in there really quickly. I kind of explained it a little bit, but area measures the space inside. So like if you needed to put carpet down, you would find the area. And we do this as adults all the time at Home Depot, right? Like I need a 10 by 3, something like that. Perimeter measures the outside. And so that's why we're adding those different lids together. And so, like, we would find perimeter if we wanted to build a fence around our backyard or something like that. So, anyway, I hope this helps. Thank you so much for partnering with me and studying with your students. Together, we can do this.